Hey, welcome to Gridiron Gurus. I'm Travis Lazarzik alongside Bill Stewart for the Kennebec Journal and Morning Sentinel. We have 3 regional semifinal games to talk about this week, Bill.
Sure, and let's start in the PTCA, where we're going to have a rematch of the regular season finale with Messalonskee is going to be going up to number 1 Lawrence. And Travis, who has an advantage here in that one?
Well, Lawrence won last week's regular season game 25-16. Number 1 seed, 9-0. You'd think they'd have the advantage being at home at Keyes Field, where it hasn't been that friendly for them. They've lost 3 straight seasons there in the playoffs, 2 years in a row to Brunswick, and then in 2008 to Skowhegan, who went on to win the league. Messalonskee really had trouble running the ball last week against the Bulldogs. They were held to 40 yards on the ground. John Hersom, the Lawrence coach, said he was really happy the way that Lawrence made Messalonskee one-dimensional. Messalonskee had to get out of its double wing offense that it really loves, that it's excelled in all season, and go to the spread, which they've had success in too. They're a fine passing team. Travis St. Pierre has thrown for over 1,000 yards as the Messalonskee quarterback, but they have to have that run contingent in there to kind of balance everything off. And like Hersom said, he was just glad that maybe they were one-dimensional, where they had to kind of rely on the big play to get into the end zone, especially in the fourth quarter when the Lawrence defense kind of clamped down. Lawrence getting some healthy players back this week. Center linebacker Josh Perry should be able to play, and reserve halfback linebacker Josh Doolin should be able to play, which kind of helps considering that Sean Carroll has been hobbled by an injury the last few weeks. Gives the Bulldogs a little more depth. Alex Leathers will probably see quarterback time again. Spencer Carey still kind of nursing a shoulder injury. Been able to throw a little bit this week in practice, but Alex Leathers certainly did a fine job last week, running for 101 yards, throwing for 49. So the Bulldog offense is in good hands no matter if it's Leathers or Carey.
Sure, and if you're Messalonskee, you're still going to stick to that double wing, right? I mean, you almost have to.
Well, they're going to start out and trying to do it, but like I said, when they were down early in the third quarter last week, 22-7, they kind of abandoned it and went to the passing game, got a couple touchdowns out of it, ended up only losing by 9 points. But like we said, if they're one-dimensional, they're really going to be behind the 8 ball in this game.
Sure, and in the PTCB, number 3 Gardner is going to be going up to Farmington to play number 2 Mount Blue. Also another rematch of an earlier season game this year in which the Cougars won that one 43-26. That game was also in Farmington, and in that game, Gardner tailback Alonzo Connor injured his elbow and missed basically 3/4 of that game. So he is healthy now, and Gardner coach Matt Burgess said, we're going to be giving it to him early, we're going to be giving it to him often, and we can only hope that that's going to make a much bigger difference this time around.
Right, if he can break a few, they might be able to stay into a game against a really potent Mount Blue offense. I mean, you talked to Coach Gary Parlin this week. He's just thrilled by how many weapons he has.
Yeah, he said, like you said earlier, in the regular season meeting, he said, hey, we have a plan A, and then we have a plan A. And Burgess knows that as well, and he was saying, we're going to have to stop both. We're going to have to stop the run, and we're going to have to stop the pass. And in particular, in that receiving game, even as Burgess was saying this week, hey, we don't have a 6'6" wide receiver that we can throw in on the scout team. We don't even have a 6'4" wide receiver that we can put in the scout team. So just game prepping for them is a very difficult challenge.
Yeah, Mount Blue has 6'6" on one side, Cam Seneca, and 6'4" on the other side, Nick Hilton. So it should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the Campbell Conference Western C, another regional semifinal with Maranacook going to be going down the Trape Academy. Maranacook comes in as the number 3 seed. Trape is number 2. These teams met in the regular season opener with Maranacook taking a 22-6 victory. The Black Bears come in with one of the toughest defense in the Campbell Conference. They're allowing just under 7 points a game. And of course, they're going to be tested with a 3-headed monster in the Trape backfield. They've got a very, they're a run-first team, and they have 3 backs back there who've combined to rush for more than 1,500 yards, and Coach Ron Ross was saying this week, we are a much better and a much different team than we were in week 1. He thinks that he's one of the more physical teams in the league, so Maranacook should have his hands full on that one too.
Should be one of the more harder hitting games of the weekend.
Sure.
All right, that's it for us this week. We'll see you next week when we're talking about the PTC A and B finals and possibly a Campbell Conference Class C final as well.